Welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. It's a new week of comics, and in my hands is one of those releases. It's Wolverine #1. He is the best there is at what he does, and what he does isn't all that pretty. New volume. Obviously we got the new status quo with the X-Men, the whole Krakoa thing going on. Wolverine seems to be the reluctant protector, haunted by his future, haunted by his past. And thrown in to do what he does, which means to kill people and jack things up. This is a pretty packed comic. It's $7.99 retail. There is really 2 issues. I'm pretty sure it's $7.99. Yeah, $7.99 retail. There really is 2 issues worth of stuff in here, though. So this isn't... It's packed. It's really, really, really packed, and I think kind of worth it because of it. This is an oversized issue, but one that feels like it's money worth. For those who've seen videos in the past, a lot of times I kind of crap on the oversized issues that I don't really think they're the money worth. This one's actually kind of its money worth. So the main story, I won't really say the main story. One of the 2 stories is written by Benjamin Percy, art by Adam Kubert. Frank Martin is the colorist, Cory Petit is the letterer, and then Tom Muller is the designer. Obviously, Jonathan Hickman is the puppeteer for all the X-Men. The first story is called The Flower Cartel. So the status quo with the X-Men is that they, of course, have their flowers that they are shipping off like drug dealers to the world. And some of those flowers are being stolen and they are being turned into drugs. So this is kind of a dual story with Wolverine and a team trying to figure out what the hell is actually going on. And at the same time, there's a DEA agent I think he's actually a CIA agent, government agent, who is also trying to track what is going on as well to find who these drug dealers are, the source, and all that. So you've got these 2 stories that are eventually clearly going to converge when everything becomes much clearer. It's decent. What's I think interesting about it is it really does focus on more of what's haunting Wolverine. Obviously his future, a potential future where he murders everyone. There's obviously his past where he has caused issues himself, and then he is, I won't say uneasy with his role, but he's doing what he needs to do, and it's kind of his job. There's also some interesting things with like a cult that's kind of popped up around the X-Men and mutants in general. So there's a lot of great concepts in it. It's a very interesting story. It kind of reminds me of some previous volumes of Wolverine, which I thought is interesting. Going back to kind of show my age, I wasn't around for the limited series in, I think, the 80s, 83, 84, but I was there for the ongoing series, with him, with the black outfit, with the makeup and all that, and I remember buying that first issue off the shelf and still have it to this day. So I have some fond memories of that. Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine on that cover. All fond memories of it. Like, Wolverine has definitely played a major part in my love of comics. So going into this, I think it reminds me a lot of the Madripoor, him kind of dealing with more crime focused stuff as opposed to the big giant threats. That's the first story. The second story is really intriguing. So that's also been written by Percy. Viktor Bogdanovic is the artist, Matthew Wilson is the colorist, Cory Petit is the letterer, Tom Muller is the designer. That one has to do with Omega Red showing up to Krakoa. Omega Red is kind of like the vampiric mutant who goes and sucks the life out of people. Have his debut comic, loved the character, I thought he was really cool. With his tendrils and all that, kind of a badass character, and he shows up. So now the question is would you let this wolf into your home, knowing he's a wolf and he's going to go off at some point? And then the other question would be why does he show up at Krakoa all jacked up? So Wolverine's kind of sent off to go find that. Which is I don't want to necessarily. I don't want to spoil it. It's kind of hard to not spoil it and tell the rest of the story of why I dug it. But that seems to have some really major implications that Marvel's been teasing out for some time. Ties into some stuff in another series you don't necessarily need to know, but there's clearly some big stuff coming down the line with what that has to deal with, which is pretty cool. I dig it. There's a lot to it that I really, really enjoyed. That story feels more like kind of Marvel Comics Presents in that it is kind of feels like more of a one and done. I have no idea if where that thread's going. I think it just says to be continued and that's it. So yeah, it just says to be continued. So I'm like really intrigued as to where that is brought up, but I think it's also going to be fascinating that it potentially challenges this whole concept of the Krakoan nation, and the mutant nation as a whole, as this is potentially another nation that will challenge it. And if they can have their rights to be recognized and their independence, then this other group should also, in theory, have their rights to be independent and form a nation. So really, some really interesting stuff, and we're going to maybe see some more hypocrisy from Krakoa and its leadership. But it's really intriguing. So that's the story. The art for both is solid. It is so good. So this is the first story art. You can see the detail of Wolverine jacked up as he's being stitched together, and we'll leave it there. I'm not gonna show off more, but Wolverine clearly has seen some stuff. I think the art is so good. Actually, we're going to show off this one piece because I love this scene. And I think just the art is really, really good. Yeah. This is it. Like, I just dig this art. So cool, so good. And then the second story, there's bits of it, I think, not bits, but all of it's really good. Viktor Bogdanovic is a fantastic artist. Both of these I would love to see continuing to do Wolverine, like everything. Like, just flows so nice. It looks so good. Just great. $7.99. I know it's a little bit pricey being an issue, but I think it's totally worth it. The two stories in it feel very full. Like, this is not a chintzy, hey, we know you're going to shell out $8. This does really feel like two comics worth in there. And, comics are $3.99, $4, $4 or $5 a piece, whatever. So $7.99, it's actually right in the price of what it should be. So is not filler. Like, this is two solid stories. Out in comic shops this week. This one I really recommend, and I rarely recommend the higher priced comics, single issues, so this is saying something. Out in comic shops, got a link beneath this video, put in your zip code, tell the shops near you. No shop, no problem. We do have affiliate links. There are affiliate links. We get a small percentage of that by doing that. You help support our site, so thank you. And really should go support your comic shop, though. Like, don't worry about us. Go support your comic shop. And speaking of support, I want to thank Marvel for hooking us up with the review copy. We appreciate it, and thank you for watching. Now, if you're into Wolverine, if you're into Marvel, if you're into comics, X-Men, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy. Until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.